This episode of Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast is brought to you by Zefbomb. That's Z-E-F-B-O-M-B. For some of the dopest handmade original designs printed in-house. Go to Instagram and check out Zefbomb. Once again, Z-E-F-B-O-M-B. This stuff is fire. The attire is absolutely beautiful. He has tapestries, pins, shirts. Absolutely incredible stuff. You have to check it out. Check out Zefbomb. Much love. Throughout history, it has been the inaction of those who could have acted that has made it possible for evil to triumph. And that is a quote from Haile Selassie I, and this quote addresses one of the main reasons I created Hippie-Fari, the beautiful, life-changing message of reggae music. It was created for social change, and its message is as strong today as it was in the 60s when the first reggae records were released in Jamaica. So welcome to another episode of Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast, recorded live in the Omen Honey Reggae Radio Media Studios in the beautiful Ocala National Forest. Now, I'm your host, Scotty the High-Strung Hippie, and Hippie-Fari is that podcast where we discuss all things reggae. So if reggae music is your thing, you are in the right place. Now, there are moments in this life when the noise fades and you hear something real. Not surface level, not watered down, but a frequency that cuts straight to the bone. A vibration older than Babylon, deeper than the radio waves. I'm talking about sound as a weapon, as healing, as memory, and as prophecy. Now, you don't just listen to this man's work, you feel it in your chest, in your blood. And if your ears are open, it just might rearrange the way that you see the world. So open your spirit. This is not just another podcast. This is a reasoning. And now I give you the voices behind the sacred signal, the selectors, the messengers behind Jah Works Radio, D-Ro and Raz E. What's going on?
Give
I love
thanks,
it.
Scotty. Give thanks, man. We give
Yes,
thanks.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to be waiting on a call in from Razi, but thank you so much for showing up, man. We are extremely excited to have you on the podcast tonight, bro.
Yeah, man. Now, once again, the honor is mine, and it's always a blessing to be invited on a platform such as yours, and really appreciate love, kind of like what you're doing. It's unique, it's unique. So I appreciate love your aspect. We all got a different signature. We all got a different fingerprint of the Most High within us. You know what I mean? So I see you.
Amen.
I appreciate love that, and yeah, honored to be here, brethren.
I love how you said that. We all have a different signature, a different thumbprint of the Most High, but that's a beautiful thing because it, we are all a part of that, which means we are all a part of each other. We are one. You know what I'm saying? So we are individuals, but together we collectively we share that one heart, man. That's such a beautiful thing, and I really, really love what Jah Works Radio does, and I love having podcasts and radio hosts on my podcast, on my radio, because I never in my life, I don't look at it as I'm competing with you. I look at it, this is one giant community to get the message, to get that word out. So the more, the better. And I like to talk to people like you, maybe get an idea, or see what you're doing, hear your message. You definitely don't want to live in an echo chamber. You need to hear and see what other folks are doing. And it's such a beautiful thing what you guys are doing, man. So thank you so much for taking that time out all the way from very, very warm Vermont, right? Yeah.
Well, warm in our soul. I'll say that much.
Yes. Amen.
And I got a nice fire. We're by the fireside tonight and by the riverside. And man, it's a frozen river right now. It's snowing as we speak. But yes, this is truly is a blessed place. This place we call Vermont. And it happened to be sitting directly on the 44 parallel. So if you study ley lines of the planet, you'll come to find out that the 44 parallel that crosses right through here in Vermont is a very sacred place. It's a very auspicious place to be, and there's a lot that goes into it. And I'll save that for another show. But yeah, live and direct from the 44 parallel. Honored.
That's beautiful, man. And, a lot of people, it's funny, I live in Florida. People definitely associate reggae with Florida. But a lot of people, I've had guys on my show from Arizona, from different places, that people don't really associate reggae with. But that's the beautiful thing about reggae music. It is alive and well everywhere in the entire world. Vermont, Arizona, Alaska. It's everywhere, man. So that's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Representing reggae in Vermont, my brethren. Right on.
Yeah.
So, could you do me a favor, man? Just for those who don't know, what is Jah Works Radio, and kind of tell us how it started, man.
Yeah, definitely. So Jah Works Radio is, it's myself, it's Rossi. We got a whole collective of people. It's my daughters, C Rainbow and Nati Celeste. It's K Genius. It's King Lemuel. We got a whole host of people. It's Lester Loving, Basil Braveheart, a lot of us. So it's kind of like what you said before, as far as being a collective. It's always been a we thing. It's always been an I and I thing.
Amen.
Never a me thing or an I thing. You see what I'm saying? So this is
100%.
really natural to join you tonight as a collective, and that's what Jah Works Radio has always been. But we've been doing this for a long time. I mean, me and Rossi linked over 20 years ago. We've been doing radio for over 20 years now.
That's beautiful, man.
And it was up at about 8,885 feet above sea level where we met in Crested Butte, Colorado. And I'll get into that in a little bit. Maybe Ross will join us for that part. But yeah, but Jah Works Radio itself started it was in 2010, actually.
Yeah, I know you guys have been doing this for a long time.
We've been doing it for a long time. So yeah, we're going back a few years, but yeah, it's evolved very much so, but always been about the word, sound, and power. That's the root, of course.
That's beautiful.
And reggae music in a rootical style, really. But we love the dance hall. We love the lovers. We love it all. Jamaican culture,
sure.
Rastafari culture, reggae culture, dance hall culture. It's all connected, and definitely no disrespect to anybody as far as where they're coming from in their journey. But yeah, we've expanded and expounded to include a lot of reasoning sessions as well, kind of like what we're doing tonight. But we've had a lot of elders come in, some indigenous elders. We've had, just all kinds of people from different walks of life that are inspiring to I have joined I on the show. But at the root, it's the reggae music. It's uplifting, positive, something that really can heal our soul. And
sure.
That's why when we started our sound system, Apple Bomb, about that same time frame, and it was about that soothing, that the bomb, the BALM, the bomb,
mm-hmm.
the soothing, healing sound, because that's really what I feel like what we need right now more than anything. It's like that.
Amen.
And the music, man, the music is so powerful. This music that came from this little island of Jamaica.
Right. Absolutely, man.
I always say, just big up Jamaica, big up the whole of Jamaica and everything that Jamaica has done for culture worldwide, because it's a place that, man, you study that place from Nanny and the Maroons and, the Arawak Indians, and all that influence, and the Indian people who came and all that, the
Taino Indians, they were there even first. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
So it's the small island with a relatively small population has had a huge influence on worldwide culture, academics, sports, athletics.
Sure.
So it's a place that I really big up to the fullest, from reggae music and really even beyond that. So yeah, Jah Works Radio is really about the healing and bringing forth this message of Rastafari, word, sound as power.
That's a beautiful thing that you mentioned that, man. I have a radio show starting Friday night. That's aptly named Word, Sound, Power. I was like, what?
Right on.
It fits perfectly, conscious reggae radio, but that's what it's all about, and that's absolutely beautiful, man. And yes, massive blessings to that small island that has literally changed the face of a lot of things: cuisine, culture, definitely music. Reggae music is one of those genres or styles that, I mean, you ask people, what kind of music do you like? I listen to everything except country. I this and I that. You like reggae? Yeah. I think even no matter how much or how little people know about reggae music, I think what they've heard, about every single person I ran into likes it. And that's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You go anywhere in the world. My wife is from Peru. You go to
nice.
you go to Peru, you got people wearing Bob Marley T-shirts. You go anywhere in the world, of course, all over Africa, New Zealand. The Maori people and how they embraced Rastafari is really amazing, beautiful story in itself. So yeah, it really is. It's something special, that's for sure.
Absolutely, man. And I heard you mention the sound system. I love the UK Steppas, the sound systems over there. That's some of my favorite music. I just love that Steppas rhythm. Anyway, but what first drew you into roots reggae and that sound system culture?
Well, so yeah, as far as roots reggae, this is kind of pre-sound system culture, but
yeah,
roots reggae. It's funny. So I grew up really listening to hip hop. That was really like kind of coming up in the '90s. Hip hop. I mean, and you listen to the hip hop from the '90s, and it's amazing. I mean,
oh god,
I look back at it, I'm like, damn, no wonder I was listening to hip hop. But even in the '80s, when I was really young, Run DMC was my first cassette tape. Run DMC, Raising Hell, and then I got into like Beastie Boys, Fat Boys,
Amen,
Rick, all those. So fast forward to like the early to mid '90s, and the Beastie Boys I was really into the Beastie Boys. They had a magazine called Grand Royal Magazine, and they put out this article about Lee Scratch Perry, and it was like a 20-page article. And I'm like, man, who is this? Who is this?
Right.
Turned out they had sampled his music a lot. I checked that out, and that was the start of it for me. So it was actually Lee Scratch Perry, Super 8. So that's one track I queued up for tonight. If we get a chance to
beautiful
play music, because that's like for me. That was my introduction. Most people, it's like Bob Marley, right? Is the introduction.
Yeah, man, that's funny. I was just gonna say every person on the show is that's their answer.
Yeah, of course, and of course I had heard Bob Marley, and I felt it too. But for whatever reason, at that time in my life, when I was like, 13 or 14, it hadn't drawn me in as much. I enjoyed it. But really, I was like rooted in the hip hop at the time. Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, and
Diggable Planets.
Yeah, all that.
Woo!
So yeah, it was that article. Funny enough, I was so influenced by it. I was like, man, just reading about this, and Lee Scratch Perry is larger than life, like his character.
Sure.
So that's what drew me in was Lee Scratch Perry, the Upsetters. Very soon after, I was, of course, into Bob Marley, and all the classic roots reggae.
Sure.
And then as far as like sound system culture, that came later, a little bit later. In 1999, I went to Jamaica for the first time, and it was actually with my college. A group of us went down, and we went to a little town called Sligoville. A big up Sligoville. It's outside Spanish Town in the mountains.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we were down there. We were part of this program building the school, and one night they invited us to a dance hall show.
Oh, sick.
So, it was a big deal. I'm like, all right, we'll go. It was Bounty Killer.
Oh, yes.
And Zebra was there, and a bunch of 90s dance hall DJs and singers. I think even Tato Mentro and Devante was there. But it was, and I was like already getting into like Anthony B, Sizzla, Capleton. That stuff, but
I love Sizzla. Shout out Kalanji. Ooh,
man.
Good stuff.
That dude, man. How many records did that dude put out, man?
Oh man, he's been doing it. What I think didn't he just celebrate literally 30 years of putting out music?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, like not actually being involved in everything, but literally just putting out music 30 years straight.
Yeah.
I think he just celebrated it like 6 months ago. It's amazing.
Yeah, big up Sizzla. So anyway, went to that Bounty Killer concert. That was really influential, even though that's not necessarily, my, like I really the Roots and the Lovers. That's kind of more my style necessarily.
Lovers Rock, yeah.
But I love it all, and so that was eye opening. Just going to that Bounty Killer concert in Spanish Town, and it was wild. It ended like at 7 or 8 in the morning, and there was gunshots, bottles being thrown, and that all that classic stuff you hear about it.
Yep.
Anyway. That was kind of more or less part of the introduction and we had like a dance hall bashment in the town in Sligoville. There was a local DJ who put on a bashment for us, and then the whole community came out, and it was a lot of fun. So that was another introduction to it, and then got into like Blood and Fire, and that like a lot of you mentioned the UK Steppers, so some of the UK stuff. I remember them coming actually up to Vermont in the late '90s.
Nice.
Here with like Ranking Joe and Dillinger and Trin. They did this tour with the three of them. It was fire. It was crazy. And live dubbing and everything else. So
no, that's so beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, sound system culture. Yeah, and then from there it just kind of grew, and then our sound, being a healing sound,
right?
Kind of, the direction was unique. Was right. We had our own signature to put into it and to add to the sauce. We had our own flavor to add to the sauce.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To throw into the pot. And so artists like Garnet Silk were especially influential. Piano, people like that, that was especially
absolutely
influential. Who were able to take this dancehall sound system culture and bring Rastafari.
Yes.
Bring conscious lyrics.
Conscious dancehall, absolutely.
Right.
Yes, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I across the board conscious lyrics. I mean, I even love really hardcore punk, but the stuff I listen to is very, they're screaming it, but it's very positive. It's about positive change, about social justice. Very uplifting. So just makes you get up and
the punk reggae connection goes back to the 70s, right? And
huge.
The Clash.
Yes.
I was into punk too. Like, and I still love it all. But yeah, I was at the same time when I was getting into hip hop, and the Beastie Boys were doing some punk too.
Oh yeah, man, Heart Attack Man and all that stuff. They killed it.
Exactly.
I love. Yeah.
Like Minor Black Flag.
Minor Threat is one. Oh my God, I still listen. They're still in my rotation, bro. Believe it or not. Ian McKay, me and my wife are huge fans. Minor Threat, Fugazi. I love what he does. I love the man.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful stuff, man. So, could you kind of share the spiritual or personal journey that led you to doing Jah Works Radio? Because obviously, you saw the article on Lee Scratch Perry. You knew this was your music. You went to Jamaica. You were fascinated. Was there something that clicked that led you? You're like, I have to, get into this and do this. I have to spread this message.
Yeah, definitely. So I started out doing as a reggae DJ selector prior to getting into the radio.
Okay.
It was back in like the early 2000s, I'm going to say. So we're talking about like Drop Leaf Rhythm, even prior to that, but that era. And that's when I started selecting. And so before I got on the radio, I was playing out at some bars, clubs, that kind of thing, doing reggae night and whatnot.
What was your moniker? What was your name?
Always D-Ro, and selected D-Ro.
D-Ro. Beautiful.
Yeah, from the beginning it was D-Ro. It was
cool.
An old nickname from high school. And it just stuck,
Nice.
So D-Ro, selected D-Ro, and still to this day. So I was doing stuff at the bar. There was a couple local reggae radio shows where we were living in Colorado. I was a fan. Like, I used to record some of them on cassette tape. I was playing out and about, and then one of the DJs, there was a late night reggae show called the iTal Show.
Okay,
and,
great name.
A guy named Josh, who was doing the show at the time, he was ready to move on apparently, and he found myself. He knew about me from DJing at the bars and stuff, and he asked me if I wanted to come in to try out for this radio show. At the same time, he asked Ross. Since Rossi hasn't joined us yet, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'll share the story. And he asked Rossi to come in on the same time frame. But we didn't know each other were going to be there necessarily.
Right.
We didn't know it was like we were invited for like a tryout, we thought.
Right.
But it was
That's
that kind of deal. So he invited us both in. But from the very beginning, as soon as we met and clicked, we started spinning 45s and everything. It was like, oh man, this is not a one-man thing. This is we got to do this together,
Yes.
And so we took over. So that's how it happened. I hadn't really, besides having like a young, at a very young age, like dreaming about doing radio, it was buried deep. You know what I mean? That dream.
Yep.
But I definitely dreamed of it when I was a kid. But I was more focused on the selecting, DJing, and then that fell in my lap, and that's what became the passion. And then me and Ross did that show held that down for a couple years, off and on. I was seasonal. Then I went out to California, and I was working out there as seasonally up in like far northern California, Humboldt County. So that's like
there you go.
big reggae community.
Hell
and
yeah!
I linked up. I got the reggae, as you probably know, Scotty. I got the bug, man. I'm like, oh, I gotta do radio. Like, I love this. This is my thing. I was like, selecting at the bar is cool, but like I got to do radio.
Hell yeah.
I got out there and I linked up with a radio station, which I'm still on. They still broadcast our radio show, which we send them like every week or two. And it's called Hoopa Tribal Radio, KIDE. And it's on the Hoopa Reservation. It's
sick.
The very, very first Indian-owned and operated radio station in the world. And it's also 100% solar powered, which it has been for like 20 to 30 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
I started going on that. I started a radio show called Power of the Trinity. And our radio station was on the banks of the Trinity River. And of course, Power of the Trinity being what it is. So
yes, amen.
It is stuck. So I started that show called Power of the Trinity there, back and forth. Eventually my wife and I moved to Vermont. And that's when I started Jah Works Radio was here. So it was like, there was no question about it, man. There was no question.
Sure.
I could not do radio.
Yeah.
I would be sick if I,
yeah.
I stopped doing it, man. I was loving it. I couldn't, and that's still how, like, the passion just grows, man. That's why having my daughters involved now is like,
yep.
Again, it wasn't a question. Of course, but for them, they choose if they want to join or they don't want to join. But like for me, I'm always the invite's gonna be there, because to have a passion like this, man, it's like, God, what a blessing.
Absolutely. And you have a series, Down by the River Sessions, with your daughters, right?
Yeah. So I have one show out, and my youngest daughter, Natalia, who we call Nati Celeste.
Yeah, great name.
Join me. She actually, yeah, she surprised me that day. It was funny. I didn't know she was coming down to the river. I thought I was just me. And here comes Nati Celeste walking down the steps. Because it's right on the river, so
that's beautiful, man.
Dark out.
I bet it's gorgeous.
To see the river, but yeah. So we're gonna continue. That series is something we've done one. It was actually the first having like a visual element to the show. That was
right.
The first one, and I really enjoyed it. Really, and I think people really loved it. It was a lot of fun. So people were asking me, "Hey, man, can you do a winter version?" I'm like, "Well." Sounds cool, man, but I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, sitting outside that long. Ooh.
I'm like, man, I think I'd get a little. I'm pretty hardy, but I think I'd get a little too cold. So
yeah,
I'm in like the spring, summer, fall. We'll be doing more of the Down by the River sessions as kind of very special. Those are going to be very special sessions. Those episodes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Especially when it's with family and you can kind of pass on your passion to your kids and they enjoy it, man. That's absolutely beautiful. But speaking of selecting, man, I'm pretty sure that you have some fire lined up for us on vinyl tonight, don't you?
Yeah, I got some heaters.
Let's
not have to burn this place down too much, but we gotta let it fling, brethren.
Well, this is Jah Works Radio, so let it fly, man. Go ahead and tell us what you got and drop some fire, brother. All
right, so let's kick us off with I want to start with my personal roots, which again, we're going back to the Upsetters. This was my introduction to reggae. It was the Upsetters Super Ape 1976 classic.
Beautiful.
Let me hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Ah, there we go. Nice. Yes. Look at that. That's in great condition too, man.
I mean, it's so classic. We got like Boris the rhythm section is just incredible. Boris Gardner on bass, Mickey Mbembo on drums, Earl Smith on guitar, Lee Perry's praying percussion, Scully.
Oh, nice.
We got Bobby Ellis, Dirty Harry, Vin Gordon. You know what I mean? So it was classic introduction. And
yes,
Lee Scratch Perry at the controls. So yeah,
that's
we'll play this. And we'll move forward from there. All right, Redden?
Let's do that, man. Let's do it.
So I and I shall never
Man, that's amazing. African blood is flowing through our veins, so I shall never fade away. Wow. That is, man, that's something special right there. That's absolutely beautiful. Those lyrics are incredible. And as a percussionist, that's some sick percussion. But I will always say the bass guitar in a reggae band, for some reason, to me, is the most, I say important. Sometimes that offends people, but I'm like, the bass has got to be there, man. That was just, that all around, what an incredible track, man. Absolutely incredible.
Sorry about that. My mic was off for a second. Yeah, no, fully agreement, man. Now, of course, yeah, the bass goes without saying. The bass in reggae music. That's the first thing people think of when they hear reggae music. Oh man, that's some heavy bass right there. But yeah, that whole rhythm section, man, it's tight. And that chanting from Lee Scratch Perry is tight, yeah. And
yes, I love the chanting. I love that. Just that. Yes, that's perfect because it resonates. You know what I'm saying? You don't get. It's not too busy. You repeat it, you feel it, you hear it. It becomes a part of you. I love the chanting, man, and I love the call and response. It's just that's what reggae music's all about. It's absolutely beautiful stuff right there. That's some fire. Thank you. Absolutely, man.
Yes. And the lyrics, even though it's funny, you take a song like that doesn't have a lot of lyrics, right? It's got, 20 words in the whole song or something like
sure.
That call and response.
Yep.
It's like a meditation, and even the lyrics themselves, Zion's blood is flowing through our veins.
Yes.
As a reminder, it's like it's resonating, it's implanting that imprint, that knowing that we are God's people, Jah's people.
Amen.
It's in our blood. It's in our heritage. It's in everybody's blood. And
that's it. Everybody's blood. We are a part of the Most High.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing, and He's in every single one of us. That's why I tell, people, when you're talking to somebody, you don't even know them. You're talking to a form of the Most High, of God, because we are the creation. It's not you and me, it's I and I. We are one and the same, and we should treat each other that way all the time, every day. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well said. It's absolutely beautiful. So, thank you so much for that track. I am completely stoked on that. So, beautiful roots reggae song. Why do you think roots reggae still resonates so powerfully today, especially in this digital age? You know, where and hearing that track, especially you playing it on vinyl, I love the clicks, I love the pops. It's just that soft analog feel. You know, it's so beautiful. I mean, you know, I like digital music, but it's. How do you think that roots is still resonating and extremely powerful? It's kind of like stood the test of time.
Yeah, very much so. I know it's funny because a lot of people talk about that era as like the heyday of reggae.
Right.
I don't personally necessarily subscribe. You know, I love it all.
Right.
It was the first music that attracted me. And, you know, it is something about it. So well, you have people, we got to talk about Bob Marley if we're talking about how does roots reggae resonate? Because
sure,
I can't think of any genre of music where you have someone like a figurehead as prominent as Bob Marley.
Right. No, I think you're right.
So he alone, it's like it's so clear that he was put here for a purpose, you know.
Sure.
And on some level, I'm sure he knew that purpose, and that it was there was a limited time frame, same as Garnet Silk, a lot of artists, but. So, yeah, I think it's important to mention Bob Marley because it's the classic story. And you mentioned that a lot of selectors that have come on your show have mentioned Bob as their introduction. And then, so you find Bob, and not that anybody's going to top Bob. We call him the king of reggae and all do.
Amen.
But then you go deeper and you find other artists, other parts of, you know, of reggae and reggae culture. So I think Bob Marley has a lot to do with that.
Sure.
Because
I actually had
heard music on like pop radio stations.
Oh yeah, everywhere. His shirts selling Walmart.
Right. You can't not know Bob Marley. So, and they would love Babylon would love to take away that because if there was no Bob Marley, a lot of people wouldn't have that introduction, right?
Right.
Reggae music. Imagine that. Imagine reggae without Bob Marley. We could imagine it. We're deep into it, but like, how many less people would get into it?
Sure.
You know, a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. I mean, my mom owned Legend, you know, the Bob Marley CD. Like, my mother, you know, that was the only reggae CD she owned, but still she owned it, you know, and she loved it. And that's kind of exactly what you're saying. You know, it spans, doesn't matter who you are, a grandma, you know, 6 years old. Everybody loves Bob, man.
That's right. And his
100.
music, you know, there was a timeline to it, right? It was late 60s to the early 80s. And
right.
So because that's how his life went. And so that's the era. Isn't that funny, right? That's the era that you're talking about, like roots reggae. Of course, we have modern roots, but I'm talking about this original roots and why. That's how I'm answering the question. And that original roots, I feel like people find Bob, which is that era, and then so they're looking for something else from that era, you know, potentially. And
sure.
They might find Burning Spear, and they might find Dennis Brown and Gregory Isaac.
Peter Tosh.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Of course,
Bunny Wailer. Yes.
So then then they're down the rabbit. Then they're stuck. Then
yes.
Yeah. And then you might find out other stuff. So I think that's one reason on the surface, and on a deeper level, we're talking about some of the most heartical music ever recorded on the planet.
Sure.
You know? And consistent and a message. It's a message music.
Certainly.
So
yes,
even if that's not what draws you to it at first, it pulls you in because, you know, you see that, you hear, you feel that there's this message within the music, and it's a heartbeat. Right. So that heartbeat, it just seeps into you, and on a natural level, because it resonates within your own heartbeat, you know. So because it's got that Nyabingi heartbeat.
I was just gonna say the Nyabingi drum, that back bass drum that's the heartbeat.
Right. So you combine that with the rhythm and the message and the melody, and so it's you know, it's locked in right in the pocket.
And that's why I love reggae music so much. It was the message. It was created for social change, for revolution, to have a message, to give power to people who felt like they were losing it. It gave people hope and strength, and that was, I kind of went down that rabbit hole, started looking at why were certain styles of music, created, or what was the basis on them, and I've still to this day have found any style of music that was actually made that's as intense as the reason that reggae music was, kind of came to creation. It was literally for revolution, for a people. It's a weapon. And like Tony Brand from Cultivated Mind said, reggae music is the last bastion of the people's army. It is a weapon, man. And we can't, that's the one weapon they can't take from us. Trust me, they're trying, but.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like how you said that. I caught that in the beginning of the show. I like that a lot. That resonates with me for sure. And I always think about Peter Tosh with his machine gun guitar.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Mashing down Babylon.
I love that. Wearing his camo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're going. That was a call to arms. Peter Tosh is like, stand up, let's go.
Man, Peter Tosh, man, he was no joke, man.
No, he certainly was not, man. Absolutely not. Yep, and that was him and Bob. Bob had his message, and Tosh was a little bit more militant, but it was, it was such a powerful force. You know what I'm saying? It was that still,
when you think back,
resonates today.
That Bob and Peter and Bunny were on the same singing group.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Really? That's nuts.
Bunny and Bob were cousins and everything,
right?
And it's true, like what Peter and Bunny said, like, we're not here to decorate Bob. Well, actually, Peter said it. We're not here to decorate Bob's voice. It kind of sounded like a diss,
right?
But it was true, like they did. There was that era and that passed, and so he knew it was time to move on. Like,
right?
Gosh, and Bunny Wailer too. Their careers are amazing in and of themselves,
Absolutely. That was my introduction to reggae. It was Peter Tosh. I was 11 years old. I grew up surfing, and I came across the Legalize It cassette tape, Peter Tosh, and I knew, obviously had my introductions to Bob Marley, but we listened to that thing until it warped. I got Magadog burned into my brain. It was Peter Tosh. It literally. That's why I became such a militant, like 12 and 13-year-old. You know what I mean? I joined Greenpeace. I was because that reggae music, like, I resonated with it. I was like, I knew that was my music and that was my message, from a very young age. And it was thanks to Peter Tosh. It was such a beautiful thing. So, what are some of the, well, actually, let's go ahead and talk about we talked about the Down by the River sessions with your daughters, but you have a reasoning series. Let's kind of talk about that for a minute. That's extremely interesting because a lot of folks don't even know what reasoning is. So could you kind of explain that and just kind of go over some people that you've had on and kind of what you do on those shows?
Yeah, definitely. So our reasoning series can be related to reggae music. We've had some reggae artists on for extended reasonings. People like Pato Banton comes to mind. Marcia Griffiths comes to mind. And then
on your show?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of artists on the show. Luciano. A lot of people on the show, but I'm talking about like extended reasonings.
Sure.
Those people come to mind. And then, like I
said,
we've
that's amazing. I've gone through your archives, but that's I'm definitely gonna have to dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah. No, Freddie McGregor, Luciano, Don Carlos.
Holy shit, that's huge.
Yeah, Anthony B.
Love Anthony B.
Lila Ike, a whole lot of artists. But yeah, the reasoning series is special because it's more like an extended reasoning, right? Sometimes the artist comes on. And it depends. It's all good either way for me, but we tend to like let our interviews breathe.
Yes,
I could see that you do too. So what I mean is, like, they can be extended, and it's oftentimes up to the artist. And most artists kind of like to talk for a while. Some might only be 20, 25 minutes. That's kind of like the minimum, really, as far as what historically people have come on and worked with us for. But the reasoning series specifically has branched out beyond reggae music. Like I kind of mentioned a little bit briefly, just that, anybody who's inspirational to I has come on our show. in recent years, we've linked a lot with a Lakota elder by the name of Basil Braveheart. And Basil Braveheart's a very unique person and beautiful person. He shares a birthday with me, so we like. I learned that a little bit later, but that was an instant connection. But
there you go.
Yeah, I think he's 93 years young.
Oh wow,
right now.
That's awesome.
And
so knowledge straight up.
Well, so he was raised by his grandma, who was pre-contact, like Lakota, like legit Lakota, full on spoke Lakota language, and his grandma was actually there at Wounded Knee and etc. But Basil, yeah, he's 93. His basically what he bridges the gap on is from traditional Lakota teachings and quantum physics.
Oh wow!
How really they're connected and kind of one and the same. Like basically his message is that his grandma was teaching him quantum physics from back, at age 3, 4, and onward, but not in the same language. It was the Lakota language. Sure. It wasn't the quantum physics language, the science language.
Right.
The concepts were the same, which are metaphysical, but may seem from the outside like out there, but then quantum physics has come in here and actually proven a lot of it, a lot of what what the grandma was telling him. So
that's amazing. Me and my wife actually talk about that. When it comes to spirituality and just a lot of things that you're taught over here in the West about religion and being used for control and all that kind of stuff. It's my wife dives deep into that, and quantum physics is proving a lot of that we are all one consciousness. You know what I mean? It's amazing how they explain it. I'm not a scientist, but it makes a ton of sense. And that they're just coming to this when, all of these, like, for example, some of the first religion on earth, Hinduism, and they've been teaching this for 8,000 years. Now science is proving it. And it's amazing, It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Quantum entanglement is a real thing, And,
sure.
Every time that smoke goes in the air and you see it, move on, it's proving it in front of your eyes. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So yeah, he's been on a lot. He's been on several times. We've been blessed to have him. We're hoping to have him on. Him and a scientist named Lester Lovin came on last January to start our reasoning series for the year, and we're kind of hoping that might happen again this year. That was fun to have the two of them on together because Lester Lovin kind of brings metaphysics, the physics of metaphysics. I feel like
wow, yeah, I feel you.
So he's a good brethren also, and a lot of other people. But it's still the root. Is definitely still within reggae music, and that's how it started in Rastafari culture. And yeah.
Do those reasoning series, do they, like, say, for example, is there one a month, or do they just come out whenever you get the opportunity to have somebody on?
Yeah, whenever.
Okay, cool.
Up, you know what I mean?
That's beautiful. Yeah, right on, man. Yeah.
But I would say around 2016-ish era, we started working, especially Ross E. started working a lot with this woman named Beverly D. on another radio show called Truth to Power.
Okay.
So we've linked with her a bunch. We've been guests on her show, and she's come on our show. We've done some simulcasts and things like that. But her show was more like a spiritual talk show, and so I think it had something to do with that. Like we probably did some before that, but then all of a sudden we were on her show a lot, kind of bringing this angle, and so it was natural to bring that into Jah Works Radio too.
That's great.
Because her show was more of a talk show. We brought like a musical aspect to it. And I think in some sense she brought that talk, to ours, but for us, it translated into the reasoning series.
It's beautiful, man. Yeah, and I even look at listening to music with other people as reasoning. It's just expanding your consciousness, because to me, consciousness is in fact divine. So when you're expanding your consciousness, you're expanding your understanding of the divine, whether you're talking to somebody, whether you're listening to music, or both, which is, like you just said, you just kind of combine with Beverly. That's a beautiful thing. That's expanding the consciousness. That's gorgeous, man. That's bringing everybody involved closer to the divine. And I mean, it's just, you can't you can't really beat that, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Big up Beverly D from Detroit, Michigan.
Beautiful. Oof, man, it's cold there too.
Yeah, no joke. They got the wind up there.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, no, big up Beverly. She's a beautiful human, and yeah, well, it's funny because she kind of brought us on more to talk about like herbs and crystals, and yeah,
love crystals. Like, huge fan.
Herbs. Yeah, if Ross joins us, I'm not sure what's going on, but if he joins us, he's the crystal doctor right there. He knows.
That's awesome, man. I've got a ton of them all over my home. I had a friend who unloaded a bunch of them. I actually got them from her, but and I did a podcast when I had a different brand out. I had her on, and she talked about the healing power of crystals, and just cool. She was a genius. Absolutely, opened my eyes to a lot of things that I wasn't aware of. So it was absolutely fantastic. But just aside from being absolutely gorgeous, they're just amazing, and the properties that they hold are, it's absolutely fantastic stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So how do you see reggae music, and especially Rastafari, as a tool for spiritual and political resistance? I knew that one was gonna. Yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, the show just turned." Oh, it got serious.
That's a good question, man.
Yes, sir.
I mean, to me, I guess the first thing that comes into mind is that it's a motivator.
Sure.
It's a motivator, and it is an act in itself, but it can also motivate, someone, oneself, myself, you, anybody listening. To go on and do something else, also like do whatever it may be, whatever. I always say, like, so we call our show Jah Works Radio, and that's for, I guess for me still, Jah Works Radio is like number one. So that's I Works. That's like the main focus. But then there's all these other offshoots, the herbs and the working with kids and working with nature and stuff like that. So, so that's kind of what I mean. Like when I listen to that music, or when I listen to reggae music and with a Rastafari message, it does motivate me, and it can bring you back. If you start to drift a little bit, it can bring you back. It's funny how we call it roots music, because it is rooted, and it brings you back to your root, to your core,
sure,
which is love, as we know.
Right.
And then you have the other aspect, which is like that political. That militant vibration, like we talked about before with Peter
yes.
Tosh. And so there's a time and a place for all that, that there's a time to rise up, and sometimes you need a soundtrack for that. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Again, it's a motivator to really real action. But the music itself is an action. I want to hear about that the music itself, for me, we broadcast here. We're associated with all these, channels that play our show around the world on different, like, FM radio stations. They play our show, and then we got, whatever, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and like all the podcast providers where the show goes out. But what I still see, and I think moving to this spot on this river, but it could be anywhere because it's all in our mind, but like that the future could involve something like not having necessarily anything hooked up to the antenna, because the river alone could carry that message.
Amen.
Music, you play a heartbeat drum down by the river, that message is gonna be carried. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
You're praying on the water. The water carries that. The water physically changes characteristic when you pray with it and you speak, beautiful words to it. And so that water is going to carry that message far and wide to all corners of the earth and beyond.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful that you said it all goes back to love. This conversation, and I say it with my wife because I talk to my wife all the time. We are inherently love. A lot of people will tell you you're born a sinner, you're born this way. I do not believe that. I firmly believe we are born. We are love. A baby is love. We are taught, or we learn how to. And a lot of people will say, if he could just learn how to love again. It's like, no, if you could just unlearn everything you've been taught to get back to your natural existence, which is love. you know, and that's who we are as a people. And I don't know how shit gets in the way to confuse that, you know, how, you know, skin color, or where you were born, or what city you were raised in, or what school you went to makes you not like the other person, you know? Like, we had school rivalries. I don't like you. You went to this school. Like, what the fuck? Come on, man. The world's messed up enough, you know, for kids to, you know, have a high school rivalry. It's like, everything seems to be able to be placed by Babylon to get in the way of us literally loving each other. It's like we have to fight through so much bullshit to get back to who we are as a people, and which is love. And it's like, that shouldn't be a struggle, you know, that should be natural. And that's why I love reggae music. It brings forth that message consistently of love. I love that.
And I like what you said about that. You don't need to teach someone to love again. You need to unlearn what they've been taught, because it's true.
Right.
When you spend time with these kids, man, like these crystal children, I mean, they got it going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't matter what their background is. You know what I mean? Like they got it. They're clicked in. And then, yeah, of course, there can be times in the future where things go sideways. But you meet a young child, they're gonna have a sparkle, a super spark going on.
Yes.
Which is love, you know, which is where they come from, which is that source.
That's it, man. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I just had my grandson over at my house last weekend. We hunted coyotes, we hunted zombies, we played soccer, we ate banana splits, and it was like, and he was like, "I love you." He calls me grand dude. Like, "I love you, grand dude." And
that's great.
And I was like, I want to be around that all the time, because when you grow up, it's just so much crap is force fed to you that you forget where you came from, which is just love. That's it. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and it's something that we need to get back to, I think, 100%. So what? Speaking of that, what role does Rastafari, you know, Liberty, and I know that you have the 44 parallel superfoods, so the ITAL living. What role do those play in the music that you select and that message that you deliver?
Well, I mean, it's all interconnected.
Sure.
But I do love that there's a tradition in reggae music talking about the herbs, and it's talking about, you know, cannabis, and it's talking about but even just if you just focus on cannabis, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, man, talk about being ahead of their time. You know what I mean? You mentioned legalize it from Peter Tosh.
Yeah. Back
then, man, people took that as a joke. Now,
right?
You know, everything he said in that song was true. You know?
Right, 100%. So when you see them, you don't have to jump that fence. Legalize marijuana.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the healing of the nations.
Sure.
So, it does have these healing properties. Like anything else, it can be abused. You know, right?
Correct.
Herb, so it has levels to it, but it's a healing herb, and so there's that tradition in reggae music, and then you have our theme song we have a segment on our radio show called Nature Provides, and the theme song is Nature Provides from Hugh Mundell. And so there's songs like that have this, you know, have these, there's a tradition in Rastafari culture of using natural medicine.
Right.
I mean, Jamaican culture, it's the herb tonics and stuff. It's so popular.
Right, yeah.
It's popular culture down there. So there's a strong tradition of using herbs over pharmaceutical medicine. And so that's you hear that in the music a lot. So I do love playing music, kind of references that kind of thing, and especially if I'm moving into a Nature Provides segment where we talk about a specific kind of plant medicine.
Yes.
So yeah, it's up there.
That's absolutely beautiful, and I pretty sure I have this question a little bit further in, but you're talking about Nature Provides and the natural medicine. Don't you? I saw something very interesting, or I heard something very interesting, I believe from you, like foraging, like things you find when you're foraging, kind of being used as, is that used in your 44 parallel superfoods, or is it just something that you do for? A hobby for fun?
Both. But yeah,
okay, cool.
That's what 44 Parallel Superfoods is more or less all about. It actually started with 2 products, chaga mushroom, which is something I harvest deep in the forest here in Vermont.
That's crazy.
And then the other one is maca root powder. That I get that from Peru.
Okay.
Where my wife is from, because we're there like once a year, and then I'll come back with whatever 50 pounds of maca root powder.
But these mushrooms, you actually harvest them yourself?
Yeah.
That's so amazing, bro.
Harvest the mushrooms all myself. And then there's a bunch of other herbs. We now have sarsaparilla on the website. I harvest that myself, along with my daughters. They're my, my partners in crime.
Is that the herb that they make the drink that tastes like root beer out of?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that shit is so. Oh my god, that's good.
It's bomb, right?
Yes, it is fantastic.
It's so good. But the healing properties are amazing. That's what people like indigenous cultures here use during fasting, because it's in the ginseng family. So
okay.
Similar kind of properties to ginseng, where it's energizing. So if you're going through a fast, like that's a super herb. And it's also an adaptogen, so it's going to help your body adapt to different, especially like climate, when the climate's changing. And I mean weather changing more or less. But
okay.
Seasonal change, somewhere like here, a northern climate, probably don't need it as much in Florida, but
right?
seasonal changes, it helps the body adapt to that. And then we got goldenrod. That's also something me and my daughters harvest. Chaga mushroom, though, that's one that just found me, man. I was up on a mountaintop and way out in the woods, probably almost 10 miles from the nearest road, and was with a friend.
It just sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it just found me, and it was funny because actually Rossi had told me he found out we had birch trees here, and he's like, man, birch, have you heard about chaga mushroom? And I was like, no, not really. And a year later or so, I was up on this mountain, and chaga found me. Actually, a person came up out of nowhere and asked me, do you want some chaga? And he's like, this is $100 worth of chaga. I'll give it to you. And I'm like, all right. I took it and started using it, and it started healing like myself and like other family members. And I'm like, man, this is great. And I work in the woods, so I have access to this. I know this woods. And what happens with chaga, it's if you don't harvest it, it just animals don't use it. It's not like you're competing with some wildlife for it. So, and eventually it die. It lasts about 40 years maybe, and then in the tree that it's living on will eventually die. And so it's here. It's like speaking out here for the healing.
Amen. Yeah, it's for us.
I mean, it's like, not going to say it's so helpful for cancer, and cancer it's such a, it's just ravaging people.
Yes. Oh, is it like what do you call that? Kind of like pomegranate. It attacks cancer cells pretty much.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's got more antioxidants than any food source on Earth. Actually by quite a bit, by like 50 times. And it's been proven to, like, you can find government studies that it kills cancer cells and it doesn't harm healthy cells. So it's really unique, and it can be used along with people who are doing chemo. It alleviates the side effects of chemo, and the cancer. So it's really great. I had a friend who worked in an oncology department, naturopathic doctor, and he said the number one thing we prescribed is chaga mushroom.
No kidding. Wow, man.
Yeah. So anyway, that's, there's more to it, but that's a surface level of what 44 Parallel Superfoods continues to be. And we've expanded because we started with just the chaga and maca. Now we have everything else we've harvested our own. And then during COVID, that was like, there was more of a need for it, right? And more of a need for education on natural health, because there was a lot of push for that was when there was a whole lot of censorship. Like, you couldn't say anything was going to help COVID. Like, if they had something that was going to help it, like, you were done, man. That's it. You were done. So I experienced that too. I had my stuff taken down, and it was kind of rough, but we got back up from it. But there was more need for it because people were getting sick. And,
yes, absolutely.
And so,
man, that's
it just kind of made us kind of delve deeper and get some different herbs. And we all have, like, every region's got something, right?
Sure.
But this chaga mushroom in particular was I knew it was here to heal, and I knew that I was going to be a medium for it because I was told that from the spirit, you know.
That's absolutely amazing. And the way I look at it is, you know, from crystals to herbs to things like mushrooms, there is something on this earth that is natural that can cure not one thing can cure everything, but there's a cure for everything that's natural, you know, 100%. It's just whether it's been hidden from us or whether it's been, intentionally destroyed so the pharmaceutical companies can rise. But through nature, there is something that and even just being in nature itself is healing. 100%. I firmly believe that. So you you do the entertainment. Also, you're extremely educated. You know, what you just spoke of is absolutely incredible. How do you balance your entertainment and kind of keeping yourself educated while keeping the vibes high, but keeping that message intact, you know, because you provide entertainment, you're selective, but then you're healing people. How do you keep that balance, you know, and not one or the other? Because that's you're kind of both all in one. You know, it's kind of hard for a lot of people to do, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes people are surprised, you know. But
yeah,
I would say that it for me it just comes natural, you know. Like, and as far as the music goes, I love it to be conscious. So doing
amen.
Playing. You know, DJing out in bars. I still do it. I did some gigs in the last year and stuff, and it's cool. I love Lovers. I love it all. Some dance hall and everything.
All right.
Everything's got its place, right?
Sure.
But my passion, you know, is the roots music, which is healing, and that's why, like, before I got into the herbs, our sound system was already called the healing sound.
Right.
So it was kind of destined to be, and I would say that there was a lot of influences, but it just seems to go hand in hand, you know. There's
absolutely.
I don't see a conflict.
Speaking of those influences, man, who are some of the elders or the artists, you know, that you give thanks for? The ones who kind of who shaped your path? I know you spoke a little bit earlier, but could you kind of go maybe back into that rabbit hole? And
oh, for sure, I would love to.
That's beautiful.
I have to say, Garnet Silk, man.
Okay.
Garnet Silk, man. And if I have an opportunity, I would love to play a song from Garnet Silk.
Let's do it.
All right. And you know, but yeah, let's move into some Garnet Silk.
Let's do it.
And we'll come back after that. Hold up.
Give
me a minute to grab the LP, okay?
100%. This episode of Hippie-Fari Reggae Radio and Podcast is brought to you by Zefbomb. That's ZEFBOMB. For some of the dopest handmade original designs printed in-house. Go to Instagram and check out Zefbomb. Once again, ZEFBOMB. This stuff is fire. The attire is absolutely beautiful. He has tapestries, pins, shirts. Absolutely incredible stuff. You have to check it out. Check out Zefbomb. Much love. And folks, this is straight up selecting live. We are not we, but Jah Works Radio is dropping vinyl, and there's no sound like the clicks and pops and what did my wife just say? The cue burn? Is that right, baby? The cue burn? Yes. The sound, that soft analog sound that really just does it justice. It's a beautiful thing. There we go. Garnet Silk.
Memories of you keep flashing through my mind.
Beautiful, man. That Garnet Silk, you kind of bridge that gap between roots reggae and conscious dancehall. Yeah, that's conscious dancehall. I mean, it died young, right? 28 years old, I think. Something.
Yeah, something like that. 26 or something.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Yeah,
I do know him and he has something in common with Sizzla. They both subscribe to the Bobo Ashanti Rastafari, which is one of the Rasta mansions. But yeah, you can definitely hear that message in his music. It's absolutely beautiful.
Garnet Silk was amazing. I mean, yeah, he had such a short career. His career was like
right.
Basically, his recording career was about 3 years.
That's crazy. All the greats, though, man. Doesn't it seem like some of the most influential people? I mean, they have that 27 Club, and Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, all the age of Jim Morrison, right? All the age of 27.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And he was around that age too. That's
right,
amazing.
Exactly. Yeah, right around there. Yep, I know.
Right when
everybody that was like a time in Jamaica when blackness, there really wasn't a lot of consciousness in the music, in that early like late 80s, early 90s. And Garnet Silk came and changed everything, and everybody said this is the next Bob Marley,
right?
Especially within Jamaica, he was the next Bob Marley. But in 3 years, he had of course he had a career before that, like as a little bimbo.
Bimbo, yeah, that's right. Yep.
But an actual recording career, it was like 92 to 94. That's pretty much all his music was. All his big tunes were recorded during that time frame. So very short.
I mean, did he? Am I correct when I say it was? I say bridging the gap between roots and conscious dancehall, but didn't he pretty much bring consciousness into dancehall music? I mean, I'm sure there were some people, but kind of brought it to the main stage, right?
Yeah, he brought it into that era. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think in that era, there wasn't much of it.
Right.
Very little, really. And so
Absolutely.
As soon as around the same time, like Luciano came in, right, and then I think, in my mind anyway, he kind of continued some of that work, where he was going on sound systems and doing dub plates, and but doing the conscious music with the Rastafari message, and they even linked up a little bit, but he was the one. It was that reggae revival, so Rastafari revival. It was, and then came in Sizzla and Cable.
Yes, yep.
All these other artists. So yeah, he did. He did bridge that gap. He did bridge, a transition like back into consciousness within dancehall music.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely did, and it was a
kind of like Mighty Prophet took the music from the Steppas and kind of bridged it to the what's now known as the UK Steppas. I always have respect for the people that can take music and literally create a bridge to another style and it lasts. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? That's, first of all, it's just hard enough to be an artist anyway, but to be able to have that kind of impact, that's wild. That's definitely divine in my opinion. That's not something you work at. It's just something you do, and it's who you are. I think, absolutely. 100%. So
yeah, Tony Rebel really brought him into it, so he had a lot to do with it, and he was doing conscious music already too, in the dance hall, but Garnet took it to a different level, and he reached people. And talk about music that lives to this day. His music doesn't get old. How many reggae artists, modern reggae artists, do you hear say, "Yeah, Garnet Silk is my favorite artist"?
Right.
Crazy,
yes.
And here he is having this very short career, but yeah, very powerful.
Well, absolutely. Let's talk about something real quick. I've been saying it a lot. You've been saying it a lot. Even the name of my radio show is Conscious Reggae Radio. A lot of people might be listening, and they're probably going, what does conscious mean, or consciousness mean? To me, it's your consciousness is who you are before you give something a name. Like, you're the observer. If something happens and I label it, that becomes anger. That becomes greed. That becomes lust. But if I don't label it, if I just let it pass, if I observe it, it's my consciousness observing it. It's my ego that gives it a name. So my consciousness is the love that I was born as before my ego gets in the way and messes it all up. So to me, conscious music it's about love. It's about change, about positivity. How would you You know, like I said, we're talking about this music. How would you describe what conscious lyrics are and what conscious music is all about?
Yeah, I like your definition of it, Scotty. That
Thanks.
was good.
Thank you, man.
I'm taking some notes on that one. But yeah, no, very similar, man. Very similar.
That's beautiful.
It's music that conscious music it's conscious of who you are, and it's music that will uplift you because it's true, man. It's programming. Let's
right
straight, you know. So how are you going to program your heart? How are you going to program your soul? You choose. You know what I mean? Choose your own adventure, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like those books in elementary school. You know, flip to page 37. Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
So yeah, conscious music. You make that conscious choice,
right?
And to choose conscious music, and it's good that it's out there. And it's funny because there's a lot of artists who do conscious music, and they'll do some with different styles, right? Like, in conscious may just be one style, and I wouldn't diss it, because there's different everybody has different aspects of themselves, right?
Right.
And so to have some like Lovers consciousness, that goes hand in hand. And then so I think conscious music it's at a higher level. It's a higher vibration. It's
right.
Vibration. And I think that's recognized pretty universally, even the artists, say, who might do a bit of this and that, they're going to still recognize that, yeah, like if we're talking serious, like the conscious music is what it's all about. And
it is.
You asked me before about entertainment, so that's I think how a lot of artists see it. It's like, all right, yeah, we're entertainers. We're going to do some entertainment. We're going to have fun, and we're going to excite the people. But when it comes down to it, we're going to live with this consciousness. The last couple of their concert are going to be the conscious ones, even for the artists that aren't that conscious, especially in reggae and dancehall culture. So a lot of people write off certain artists, because they do songs that sound real negative, and I wouldn't really promote that or play it on my show because it's not my thing.
Right.
But even some of these artists are going to come with like conscious music for some of their songs, and it's not. I don't see it as my role to say who. If someone's got a conscious song and it's really good, I love it, I'm going to play it. Like, I don't care who.
Absolutely. Yep, that's a beautiful thing, and I firmly believe we share a universal consciousness. I, we are all one. So I think it's extremely important. Yeah. What we listen to and what we think and what we say, because I firmly believe not just what you do on the outside, but what you do on the inside is shared with everybody else. So if it's constant negative thoughts, negativity flowing, and there's a lot of that is shared with the universal consciousness. So that's why I think it's so important to listen to and to be a part of and to, chant conscious lyrics. That does have an impact. Regardless of what people think, that has a massive impact on the world. If everybody thought a certain way, you walk into a room and people are looking at you. They don't even have to say anything. To me, that's proof that it's not what you say, it's what you think a lot of the times too. And I think what we think has such an impact on the world, and we don't even recognize that, but it's huge. We're impacting the world just by our thoughts. So I think conscious music is so important. So let's get to a fun question real quick. What is your process like when you are putting together a new episode of Jah Works Radio? Because you guys do a lot. You got the music, you got the commentary, you got the calls, how do you plan this out?
I would say every show's different, but the standard for me anyway is that a lot of it I like to do on the fly.
Yeah, right.
That's my kind of my mode. So usually on a typical show, I might have something in mind, especially to start the show. Like the first 2 tracks is generally what I've planned out for the night.
Okay.
When I first started doing radio, 20, 25 years ago, I'd have like the whole show planned out, written down, and every once in a while, that can be cool. Like definitely wouldn't diss it because I've done that, and it can be like you can dial it in like you're set, right? But I mean, I play everything. I play the vinyl, CDs, digital, whatever it is. But there's a lot. So I just look around. It's like you can't go wrong. But yeah, it's usually like I'm playing those first couple tracks out. Generally start the show like burning some sage, just kind of clear out the
Very nice.
You know, have a meditation and maybe some chaga tea to sip on or something like that, and come in. Oftentimes something in mind already. If there's like, I love new music, you know, showcasing some of the new music coming out in reggae. So maybe certain shows I'll be playing more new music. Other shows, some classics. Most shows, a little bit of both.
Right.
That's
so being Jah Works Radio and, you know, having such a long, rich career in history in reggae music, finding those rarities and those spiritual tracks, and especially those new tracks, do you have artists sending music to you to showcase on your show before it's released? You know, being, you know, that a lot of people listen to your show. Does it kind of, are you you're that blessed? That's nice, man. I want to get there one day.
But at the same time, you know, there's a lot to go through. So like,
oh, sure.
It's cool. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, you know, the most of the music I'm not finding that way, because it can be a lot to go through, especially if it's like artists. I want to check out the new artists because I'm all about, you know, that's what it's all like. That's a big thing. That should be
sure.
To focus on these new artists, but not to forget about the legends either. So the majority of music I don't find that way, you know, but yeah, definitely sometimes people will send it to me. I mean, a lot of stuff does get sent. I don't listen to it all, but I try to check it out, and I'll get surprised. Sometimes, you know, a lot of time it's no-name artists.
Right.
I don't care. You know, I'd love to promote some new artists who nobody's heard of before. Even Lila Ike, when she came on the show, I feel like she was just starting out, and that was I recognized her talent. I was like, man, yo, she is amazing, you know. And I was like, she's gonna go far, and she has, you know. So yeah, you know, that's kind of how we find out, you know, new tracks. And then of course Rossi's doing the same. He's
right
sending me track, like, because he's in Texas, but we do the show together. Not always, but like whenever we got like Reasoning series, almost always Ross is there, and then he'll come here and we do shows together. When he's here in Vermont, he comes here every summer for a period of time, and then it's just higher heights, you know, automatic when we link up. Like
that's beautiful
in person. But yeah, it's usually like we start out with some kind of vibe, and then just kind of see where the night goes, you know, like just feel that heart to go, just let it.
I love that.
Yeah, but
that's the beautiful part of doing a show with somebody else. You know what I mean? You can, yeah,
kind of tuned in to like what the music is like in your memory. You know, it's a real stretch of the memory and a real exercise, like a brain exercise, to know what the music is, and that's why selecting is so beautiful. Like there's the technical part of it, mixing the tracks, you know, matching up the beats, all that. Like that's the basics of mixing vinyl, and nowadays it's easier with digital. And it's all good, but then there's like, but the real art of it, I think, is how tunes go together, like how you can tell a story. And I love that reggae culture really values the DJ, the selector.
Yes, 100%. It's a vital part of the sound system, man.
Yeah, definitely, because you're telling a story. Like you're kind of making a collage, like a sound collage. You're putting these tracks together in a certain. How are you going to mix them? And how are they going to go together, and like in which order? And so I do think, yeah, for me the highest stuff has come to me like right in that moment. We talked about a lot of artists, and I haven't mentioned yet, but I gotta, before we go much further, I'm thinking about some of these natural mixes that we've done over the years. And I mentioned, you know, of course, Midnight Ake Becca has been.
Oof, God.
Yeah.
Vaughn Benjamin, man, I can't say enough.
Yeah, that's just influences, and we've done a lot of tributes, and just straight Ake Becca, you know, shows. There's one that's up on YouTube that, unfortunately, they put a bunch of ads in it, so it's kind of hard to
right. Yeah,
but it's still on the Jah Works Radio website. But it's funny because it got a lot of views, before, and then all of a sudden it adds all over it, and it's like, all right, you might as well. I just rather direct people to the Jah Works Radio site, and they could
exactly.
The mix. But that mix there was some planned out, because with that mix, I got a bunch of his like spoken word reasoning stuff.
Yes, I love it.
Got it on tracks, put it on tracks, and then I was playing dub, and I was mixing it in with some of his different tracks, transitioning with some of that spoken word, and but it was all that mix, even though it may have sounded like it was pre-planned out. It pretty much wasn't, other than like putting out all the music, like these are all the options, and then just go figure out the first 2 tracks, and that's kind of that's the recipe, the general recipe to a Jah Works Radio show, is something along those lines.
That's absolutely beautiful, man. So speaking of selecting, kind of getting to the end of my question, I definitely have a few more for you, but you think you might do us a favor and drop one more solid tune on your beautiful vinyl collection, man? Because you've already knocked my socks off with this stuff, man. I definitely want to hear what else you got in the crate.
All right. How about since we're talking about Ake Becca, how about we play
yes.
one from Ake Becca, Midnight?
You're absolutely beautiful, man.
So I mentioned before about so we got, I don't know if you can see it, the 44 parallel superfoods in the background.
Yep.
See that?
100%.
You see that right now, still?
Yes, the bottom of it.
Okay, right. So
there you go. Yep.
So 44 parallel superfoods. This number, man, I briefly mentioned, the latitude 44 parallel where we are.
Yep.
And this number 44, it's a really powerful vibration. And so I'm gonna play. This is off. This is not vinyl per se.
Okay.
I'm gonna play this track. It's from Midnight, Ake Becca in the early days, of course.
Yes.
A song called Southeastern Moon. It's on the Jude
Right on.
Zion album.
Beautiful.
If you look at this happens so often. I can't tell you how many songs are about this, but let's see. If you look, I don't know if you could see it. The song is exactly 4 minutes and 40.
And look at that. That's so awesome, dude.
There's so many songs. If you you start paying attention, you start seeing this. So many reggae songs are 4 minutes and 4 seconds, or 4 minutes and 40 seconds, some version of it. And this track is number 8, which is the 44. So
right.
Track
There you go.
Southeastern Moon. You can't go wrong with anything from Midnight, Ake Becca, but this one right here is a special tune, because we're out here on a moonlit night, and vibrating on a very higher heights vibration, giving thanks. So let's fling some
beautiful
Ake Becca, Midnight, original style, Southeastern Moon.
Out the day, and then the ocean is the breeze highway. Roots keep the trees firm in the firmament, and then the leaves don't always yank right away, and then the leaves don't always yank right away. Yeah, just in time for I to bubble a late night, yeah, bubbled by ocean side. Just in time for I to be as I chill and rasta sata sanctify. Down by the Ganges, Rastafari camp. Down in the gully, Rastafari camp. Yeah, if I Ethiopia see me and mount. Yeah, Zion I waterfall I found. Yeah, oh, yeah, green trees over silver water, region with a lifetime smell of sentiment. In a crystal clear Zion water, yeah, all that in Africa, all that in Africa, yeah, yeah. ocean is the breeze highway. Roots keep the trees firm in the firmament, and then the leaves don't always yank right away. And then the leaves don't always yank right away. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, green trees over silver water. Region with that lifetime smell of sentimental. In a crystal clear Zion water. All that in Africa. All that in Africa. Yeah. Well, I'm saying now, southeastern moon. Evening look like morning. I hope you will be coming soon. You keep the seasons waiting for you. Southeastern moon. You make I remember late night rendezvous. Youthful matters of the heart about who belongs to whom. Just in time for I to bubble a late night yap bad by ocean side. You just in time for I to place up the children of Rastafari sanctified. Yeah, down by the Ganges Rastafari camp. Down in the Gully Rastafari camp. Yeah, if I Ethiopia see me and mountain. Zion I want to fall I found. Zion I waterfall I found, yeah. Green trees over silver water. Region with the lifetime smell of sentimental. In a crystal clear Zion water. All that in Africa. All that in Africa. All that in Africa. All that in Africa.
Wow, man, what can you say about Von Benjamin, Midnight, Akabeka? One thing I loved about Von Benjamin, he would reason with, Eastern philosophy and, other things, but he never brought it to the forefront because he did not want to dilute the message of Rastafari, which is so important. We have to understand what happened to certain people in order to be able to heal. And unless we accept that and do something about it, then healing won't take place. So to dilute the message of Rastafari is kind of, you can reason with whatever you want, in my opinion, but to kind of dilute that message is, it's kind of going backwards. And the more that I get into it, the more I realize that there's still a lot of healing that needs to be done. That things that we ignore, we say, oh, it only happened 200 years ago. Yeah, well, we haven't addressed it fully. And we need to address that. Once that takes place, I believe the system we live in will completely collapse because you have to drop the system from the foundation. And foundationally, our system was built on everything that was awful things that were done to people is what our system is built on. And Von addressed that. So he was an extremely intelligent guy. Knew a lot, but never diluted the message. And to me, that's one of the most beautiful things when you hear it. I mean, we named our cat Von Benjamin, and it was a girl, Like, I got to name something Von Benjamin, bro.
Was that before his transition or after?
After.
Okay.
Yeah, but shout out to St. Croix Roots. Shout out to Von Benjamin, Midnight Akabeka. Like,
yeah.
Man, wow. I just, every time, it's like, geez, man, wow, how intense is that guy?
No, man. And we talked about Sizzla Kalungi before being prolific.
Yes.
And then Vaughn is the other one, right? I mean, he used to put out, 8 albums a year sometimes.
So much music between Midnight Akabeka and himself, and then all of his reasoning sessions and, right. Like describing words. He would take the root of one word and explain why the word meant what it meant. Like,
oh, yeah. He was an etymological genius.
I don't think he ever took a break for himself. I think he was so concerned about just spreading the message to other people. I mean, it's amazing to me how much content that guy put out. You know,
it goes back like he must have known on some level, right, that the time was limited.
Right.
Time to get busy, get to work.
Yeah. But I get people that are like, I don't have an hour for a podcast, but I like Von Benjamin. I'm like, that guy had 25 hours in a day to do nothing but spread positive vibes. So, you know,
he would talk with anybody, you know, and
he sure would.
Yep. I never had the chance to meet him in person. Well, I mean, I shared presence with him. I had his shows and stuff. I never had a chance to have him on the show or meet him in person. But I did. We did link with Kenya Eugene this year, and that was really beautiful. She is the younger sister of Desiree. I don't know if you're familiar with Kenya Eugene.
No.
Okay. Well, check out her music.
But man. Desiree doesn't. Okay.
She's in Florida, but she's not. But anyway, she's Desiree's younger sister.
Very fantastic.
She put out an album this year that was produced by Zion I Kings.
Ooh, very. All right, there we go.
So you know, like right there is like the stamp of very high quality. She came on the show, and she's a really beautiful spirit.
That's so awesome, man.
It's fun to hear her talking about like Desiree, because in the beginning, especially in the early midnight days, you know, Desiree was kind of right there.
Right.
Desiree branched off and did her own music, which was which has been amazing and continues to be so. But it was cool. It was fun to hear Kenny talk about growing up with Desiree and how Desiree is such a serious singer, you know, and just serious lyrics and everything. And she's like, oh, yeah, and home she was a jokester. She said, she was the one who always was joking with me when I was a little girl and stuff. So it's cool, you know, cool to hear those kind of stories. But yeah, it was fun but Kenya Eugene's music in it's really, really amazing. Higher heights. So yeah, check out Kenya Eugene.
I definitely will. And speaking of like going from Vaughn to that, you know, it's over the years. Do you think anything has changed in the way that people kind of consume or receive conscious reggae? Because it's, you know, if you look at what's going on now, I mean, you know, 3 days ago you turn on the TV, you know, another country's bombed. It almost makes you, I mean, if you're not ready and prepared mentally, you're just like, to hell with it, I don't care. You know, the whole world's kind of, you know, screwed up, you know, and a lot of people are just taking that. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. So do you think over the years, the way that people kind of receive conscious messages has changed, or, you know, the way basically it's kind of delivered has changed in order for people to receive it?
Well, the way in which it's delivered has changed completely, right?
Sure.
Since my days of when I first started out DJing, selecting, we didn't even have CDJs that I remember. I don't remember any. It was vinyl was the only way, you know, if you're going to be mixing music. And then very soon after, very quickly, the CDJs came in. And anyway, I mean, so yeah, it's all out there now with the internet, obviously, and everything else. It's all out there, which has its, like anything, has its polarity, positive and negatives. But the positive is that, you know, as far as like independent artists, I do think there are different avenues for getting the music out there and different ways that people are receiving that.
Sure.
And, you know, but then on the other hand, you got like people doing fake music, you know, like saying it's some artists, like AI music.
AI, bro. I talked about it on one of my podcasts. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not like saying we're not going to use whatever, like we can use this technology, but for music, you know,
it's an art form. It's like it's like if Picasso's like, yeah, I didn't paint. I just typed in a computer what I wanted it to do and sold it for $10 million. Like,
you got these people you know, if you put in, so YouTube's kind of, I don't know, man, it seems to be going downhill to some extent. It's still, we can use it as a platform, right? But if you check what's actually like gaining a lot of views, it's sometimes there's cool stuff, but then there's like all this stuff that's not even real artists, not
pretty
even
wild.
Real lead selectors. They're like fake people,
right?
Not even mixing music that was made. You know, it's like, man, there's no soul to this at all.
We ran across Zion Vibes or Zion Echoes, which was a channel. I looked at my wife. I was like, this is AI. And then a song called Lifted Steakhouse came on. I was like, this is definitely AI. He's talking about weed on the table, feeling great, and I was kind of amazed. But yeah, you're exactly right. It's definitely kind of mind blowing. But you know, especially if it's an art form. You know, try to not use AI to create it completely, at least.
But
Absolutely.
This conscious music has prepared us, to be ready for all this. To have that dignity, to be like, all right, we're not gonna use our energy, suck up our energy, like focusing on that, or like but we're just gonna move on, and we know what the real music is and what the real message is, and focus on that. You know what I mean?
Yes, and that's why I think it's extremely important to put that music out. I had Natalie Rise on my podcast, and one of the most amazing things she said, her album that just came out 7-8 months ago is called Liberate, and she's like, it's not, it's talking about liberation, but it's about liberating your mind.
Yeah.
Most people don't even realize that their thoughts aren't even their own. Their thoughts have been hijacked. What you're thinking is via programming.
Right.
You're not even thinking for yourself anymore. You have to liberate your mind. That's why, to me, this conscious music is so important, because you'll see something, you'll have a snap judgment. I mean, is that really what you think, or is that what you've been told to think? You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing. We are products of conditioning. Most people are in the same political party or religion as their parents were, and they don't even question it, Or it's just and that's kind of weird to think about, that we don't even unknowingly don't even think for ourselves unless we make a conscious decision to actually think for ourselves. A lot of the times we're victims of conditioning. It's crazy. That's why I think the music is so important, to kind of open your mind. And the chanting is so important. It's repetition. You're hearing the same thing over and over again, repeat that, repeat those beautiful conscious lyrics. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. And that's healing. And definitely speaking of healing, I know you do meditation work. You do the wild foods, herbal medicine, hiking, spending time in nature. And I know you had mentioned solstice, and equinox rituals. Could you kind of explain that to me real quick? Because I was extremely fascinated when I saw that, and I can't believe I just stumbled over that 3 times. I have got to know what this is all about, because I'm definitely a hippie. I love the crystals, and that just sounds fascinating, man.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's funny. So, we just passed the winter solstice, right?
Right.
So, just kind of tapping into what is the spirit of these auspicious days.
Okay.
The equinox, I always find, really amazing, because you got the whole entire world having equal 12 hours day and 12 hours night, So something that's really unifying, I feel like, is the equinox, and it's in the name. That's really special. And so a lot of, we've linked with a lot of radio shows like on those days. So Lester Lovin, he's come on with us a lot for equinox specials and solstice somewhat, but mostly equinox. Winter solstice, then you have these sacred sites out there all over the world. Florida's full of them.
No, 100% with the Native American influence here. Yes, massive.
Yeah. So these sites generally align to solstice and equinoxes. Whether it's sunrise or sunset, you can make like a whole calendar based off some of these sites. You can literally like tell time with these sacred sites. And so for me anyway, something I do on like the winter solstice, for example, I have a sacred site that I was guided to a number of years ago here, and going up there, and it aligns with the winter solstice. And so that's generally a place where I, up there and just kind of tapping in, and
it's amazing.
Listening and see how the rocks are crying out.
Yes.
And the trees might have a message, and who knows?
That's right.
It's some animal spirits have something to say.
The trees definitely have a message. Ask any shaman back in the day about the plant medicine. How did they know? Like, right. Well, the plant told me.
That's right. And they all
straight up.
Right? And if you look at, you talk about plant medicine and how they speak to us in different ways, but a lot of it's how they look.
Sure.
If it looks like a kidney, like the leaf looks like a kidney, it's more than likely it's gonna help your kidney. And this is backed by science. Like a lot of this.
It's amazing.
You look at the roots. Of course, if it's got red, it's got iron in it, and so that's going to be good for your blood. It's going to be a blood cleanser, and et cetera. It goes on and on, but they do speak out And so, yeah, that's something that can be tapped in during those times, anytime. But there are those times when vibrations seem to be elevated, and those equinoxes and solstices do seem to be them. And just kind of tapping back into what we've been doing for thousands of years on those days, those ancient traditions.
And that's exactly what I was talking about when I say your thoughts have been hijacked and not thinking for yourself. That's the last thing Babylon wants us to do, is to be one with nature, because that's dangerous to them, because when you start thinking on that level, then you're able to relate to other people. And when you can do that, then you start to see what's going on. And when you start to see that, that's when your eyes really open, your mind becomes liberated, you start thinking for yourself, and real change occurs.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing, man.
And you mentioned before about like these, whether your thoughts are your own or have they been implanted into you by somebody else.
Right.
And we talk about Babylon and all this, and we start to know that, or realize that all that is within us. You know what I mean? Like we have all that within us. So
consciousness.
So we all have, like, we can have a voice within us that can be negative. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Correct.
And so, but where did that come from? And getting beyond that, because you got to realize, like, all right, if Babylon is within, then you can fight Babylon within and
Amen.
Persevere. You know what I mean? And raise up to because we all have our higher expression and a lower expression of ourselves. So you can kind of meet, do some shadow work and, meet the shadow and deal with your own shadow. You know what I mean? Because that's what it really comes down to, is dealing with our own shadow. And with that work, we can shine our light just that much brighter.
And that was beautiful. To me, that is the epitome of the definition of what you just described of I and I consciousness, man. That was absolutely fantastic. It's all within us, If the good is within us, the bad is within, it's that universal consciousness. We are a part of the Creator. We are the creation, which is part of the Creator. We are part of God, and it's within us. Even the Bible, the kingdom of God is within you. It's right. We have it within us to be able to create. We also have it within us to be able to destroy. Just as good as we can do is as bad as we can do, and vice versa. So, but unfortunately, we focus on the negative a little too much. I think I say that because I'm just as guilty. I'm not judging anybody. We all do. I think we all do. I know I do. And sometimes you let that kind of take hold. But I also have to tell myself I have the ability to do the opposite. Just as bad as I think it is as good as it can be. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yep.
And usually it is that equal polarity. Like, if it can be that bad, well, imagine how good it could be.
Yes, and that's exactly right.
I mentioned before, like when we talked about conscious music, about being a reminder to bring us back, like during those times when you go down a little rabbit hole where you didn't really intend to, and you're doubting yourself and getting away from your true purpose. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's important to have the music has so much of a role with bringing us back to our purpose.
That's right. And I talked to my wife about this on a podcast, the first and only podcast she ever agreed to go on. It was Christmas Eve. She does not like to be on a microphone. But I was, the people that you hung out with pretty much when you were in high school, middle school, even now, was kind of associated with the kind of music you listen to. The punks hung out with the punks, if you listen to country, you listen to rock, the metalheads hung out with the metalheads. Music has such an impact on your life, for most people anyway. And I think it's extremely important to make sure that something that consumes your life so much is positive and kind of pointing you in that right direction. That's why I love what you guys do. Jah Works Radio is absolutely phenomenal. So you said 20 years, correct?
A little more than 20 years, yep.
That's nuts. What's next? I know you've got you have the reasoning sessions. You have the Down by the River with your daughter. You have a lot of beautiful concepts that are coming out of Jah Works Radio, and you play some amazing music. Do you have maybe like a 5-year plan for where it's going to go? Or are you going to keep going in the same direction? You have any new ideas that you're working on that you you know, I'm not asking you to give away all your secrets, but something, you know, because obviously a show like yours is built on progress. Because you wouldn't have lasted this long if you weren't coming up with new innovative ideas to keep it fun and fresh.
Right, that's true. Yeah, so let me lay out my next 5 years, starting with year 1. No, I'm just
nice. All right, podcast number 2. No,
yeah, no, but yeah, the last 2 years there's been a lot of changes. Like new expressions within that. And you mentioned most of them. There's been a couple others. Also, even started another whole podcast with my daughters called Family Time Radio.
Oh, sick!
So we're gonna do more of that. So definitely some more of what we've been doing. The Down by the River sessions is a brand new. Like I said, we only have 1 episode of that, so definitely looking forward to doing more of that.
Right.
And, I will say that I would say that there's more. I think we're going to do some more kind of natural sound collages where we're mixing like sounds of nature and even visual, which we've done some of that, but like more into that avenue.
I love that.
Yeah, mixing some sounds from nature and visuals, even potentially doing stuff like that, and maybe what I'd like to do is some more in-person. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do some more in-person gatherings.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. You just say the word gathering and man, that's yes.
We've been talking about doing that. There's a brethren named Haile Israel. Are you familiar with Haile Israel?
No.
Okay, he's a guitar virtuoso. Reggae. He's played with like Bamboo Station, like a lot of the Virgin Island artists.
Oh wow, okay.
Played with them. Midnight. A lot of artists, but we've linked with him a lot on the show, and he's talked about doing some festival work with us. So we'll see if maybe he's done some stuff out in Hawaii also. But yeah, some more in-person gatherings I think I could see that coming down the pike.
Those are extremely important to in-person reasonings, in-person gatherings. I think it's very very impactful when you're with your tribe, you know, or it's a beautiful way to extend the message to other people when you're face to face, and it's nice to be able to be around people. You know, it's a beautiful thing when they're not doing the 9 to 5 hustle and bustle. You know, I got to get here, I got to get there. You know, you're sitting in traffic. You know, it's nice to be at a gathering with people where you can actually relax, breathe, and talk to people and really have nothing to worry about and just gain some knowledge. You know, it's a beautiful thing. It's absolutely fantastic, man. Very excited about that. I definitely looking forward to it. I have a lot of notes to take because you guys have been doing for 20 years what I've recently started doing, and very impressed. Share a lot of the same similarities with you personally, from the herbs to the crystals to the reggae music to the conscious music. It's a very beautiful thing, to the love for vinyl and just talking to people and spreading a positive message, and definitely the love for radio, man.
Yeah, the radio, of course, and the surfing.
Yeah, right.
We didn't talk about that, but you mentioned surfing. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you surf?
Yeah. I surf.
Nice.
I mostly surf snow.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. I was born and raised, and I grew up.
Oh, nice.
Grew up surfing, loved it. Yeah. Sucked at it, kind of like golf, but I still like to do it anyway. You know.
That's how I'm at. That's how I am with surfing.
Yeah.
Out in Humboldt County, California, I used to surf quite a bit.
Yeah.
In those cold Northern California waters.
Oof. Yeah, man.
Get out every once in a while up here, but mainly the snowboarding. Like I do have that passion, which to me is basically the same thing.
So it is. Snowboarding's dope, man. I've done it. I love skiing. I love snowboarding. And yeah, but there's guys like Mickey Dora and those old surfers that grew up surfing on the California coast. It was amazing to me because they wore those really short shorts, and you know that water never gets above like 65, and that's freaking freezing cold, man.
65.
I'm like,
lucky.
I don't know how they did it. I mean, you had to be a really good surfer because Mickey Dora never fell off his board. I'm like, that's how you stay warm. Right? You just get really good and don't fall off.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's an absolutely beautiful thing. So, kind of in closing, two things. How can people support the mission of Jah Works Radio? And what message would you leave a young listener, if there are any young listeners listening right now? I know you work with kids, but what message would you leave the young generation today just discovering roots reggae? You know, they might be like, oh, that's not my style, like this. You know, what kind of message could we give them about roots reggae music and how important it is to stay the test, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, follow your heart, you know. If
100%.
I would never force it, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
That's the tradition of Rastafari. It's never been like a missionary kind of thing where people are kind of trying to push it and force it.
Right. Yep.
We're here. And if people see it, you know, joy and see that vibration, they're going to be drawn to it, you know what I mean? So
100%.
You don't have to convince, like with my daughters, like I love it because it makes me so happy that they love reggae music.
Yeah.
I love pop music and other stuff too, and I would never want to tell them not to listen to something that makes them feel good, you know what I mean?
Right.
I wouldn't try to specifically, I would just say exposing people, you know, that's the thing.
Sure.
Because you said it before, someone could be into whatever kind of music, but they hear some reggae, you're like, do you like that? Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
It's not, besides the Bob Marley, which is great that that's out there, but otherwise you're not hearing it on most places where people hear music, you know.
Right.
It's been purposely tried to be stamped down, but if anything, that's just made it blow up even more. That's
certainly,
you know. So just exposing it, putting it out there, and as far as leading people to Jah Works Radio, you know, it's one of many. I think there's a lot of great radio shows, great podcasts. I really enjoy your unique style. I love your curiosity.
Thank you.
And so I would just say, yeah, you know, check them all out, man. And we check out Jah Works Radio. We have many different styles. It's morphed and evolved over the years, and we got certain shows. If you listen to one show, don't think all the shows are like that.
Right.
If you love it or you don't. We try, you know, it's a lot of variety. So we try to do something different, and it's true. It's from our heart and from our soul. It's never going to be nothing fake. And that's this music really is. It's real.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Real, short for realization. I'll pull a Von Benjamin on you, right? Real, short for realization. The beautiful thing you said about like Rastafari, you know, kind of like the music with the kids. It's not forced. It's presented. Yeah. And you come to that realization when it makes sense. It's a beautiful thing. But thank you for that compliment. Saying that, you know, you appreciate my style. I appreciate Jah Works Radio style. You guys, you make it different. Like you said, not one show is the same every time. And you have the reasoning sessions. You have elders on. You get different messages from different people. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's all rooted in consciousness and love and, you know, just providing positivity to the world. You could be doing anything right now and you're doing this, and that says a lot. You know what I mean? That definitely says a lot because that comes from the heart. One of my friends, really good friends, Jay Cantor, he's the lead singer for a reggae band here in Florida called Street Level Uprising. He's like, if you want change, whether it be on a militant side or, you know, on a very, very peaceful side, he's like, regardless, it's still coming from the heart because nobody wants social change, you know, and it's not out of love, you know, and that's why I love reggae music. I love Rastafari. I love what this community is doing because we're all pushing for change on a positive level, you know, in some form or fashion. And that's all coming from the heart. And that's a beautiful thing to be in a community where everybody is starting from the heart. You know, when you go to the gatherings, you know that you're like, this is going to be a comfortable place.
Right. Article coming from the heart. And you mentioned Von Benjamin and the etymology, but man,
yes,
what about like the whole Rastafari tradition in that? You know, like it's so unique that going back to the 70s and even the 60s, breaking down these words when nobody was talking about that stuff. You know, now it's pretty common. You know, but man, that tradition goes way back in Rastafari.
Yes, and that's why I love, you know, the 12 tribes Rastafari, the Nyabingi Rastafari. Reasoning is very important. You know what I mean? And talking and, you know, back in just two other people to come to the conclusion that makes sense. That's extremely important. You know, words are important, and speaking those words are important. And that's, I mean, yeah, I can't say enough about it. My friend Dwayne, he did sound for a reggae festival we just threw, and he's telling everybody, you know, he's like, I've been friends with Scotty since we were 10 years old, and he's been wearing red, gold, and green necklaces and preaching Rastafari before he even really understood it. I was like, I resonated with it at such a young age. I just knew there was something to it. I knew it was my music, and I knew it was for me. And when my mom asked me what colors I wanted to paint my room when we moved into our house at 12 years old, I told her red, yellow, green. She looks at me, she goes, "You're not going to like those colors forever." Well, here I am, 47 years old, Mom.
47,
and they still resonate, you know. The true meaning of those colors truly resonate.
Wow. Well, and here's another thing that we share. I'm 47 also.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, you look way better than I do for 47, bro. I thought you were like in your mid-30s, man.
No. I've been around.
Damn, they say the camera adds 10 pounds. I guess for me, it probably adds 10 years. I don't know. So when's your birthday, real quick? Do you mind saying?
October 5th.
I'm August 23rd, so.
Okay, so you're my elder. You're still my elder.
Yeah, I'm your elder. I love that. That's a beautiful. You're really 47. That's cool. I mean, that's wild, man. Very cool. Yeah, I see a lot of people our age, you know, carrying the obviously carrying the torch, but you know, it's a beautiful thing. I hope that we can successfully pass it. I'm trying with my grandson. You know, he's curious because his granddude loves reggae music and it's about his life. So he's very, very, very intrigued and just asking questions. You know, what is it? What, you know? We were watching the TV and he's like, a guy was saying something. He's like, "Did he say that in reggae?" I was like, "It's not a language; it's a music, but you'll get it soon."
Yeah.
But
talking about patois.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
my daughter's speak patois.
Yeah, it's cute. You know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to have something positive to pass down to your children, and you know, have your kids involved and my grandson and all that. It's just beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much.
Artists you talk to and they're like, "Oh, when I was like a younger artist, like, oh yeah, my mom would be listening to you know, whatever, like Aretha Franklin in the kitchen and Bob Marley and you know,
right,
like amazing legendary artists." And they're like, "Yeah, and you know, I didn't think much of it." And then you get older, you know, it was just there. So it was just there.
Right.
You put it out there. You know, I like how you said you don't force it, you present it, and yeah,
absolutely,
it's there. And so people,
yes.
it resonates. It definitely resonates. And the younger generation is, yeah, they're taking it up, man. They're gonna do their own thing with it, you know.
Sure,
Not
certainly.
everything we're gonna like us old timers, but we
Right.
better, you know, they're gonna have their own. You know, every generation's got its own spark. They add.
And
to
I
it.
do like the younger generation. To me, woke is not a bad word, and I think the younger generation, they are kind of waking up and seeing what's going on. You know, me and my wife discuss this all the time. How many times am I going to say that? Me and my wife discuss this, but I talk to her a lot. But you know, we talk about revolution, and you know, we talk about conscious revolution versus, you know, maybe possibly a violent revolution, because a lot of violent revolutions have taken place, and you know, we feel like there is a paradigm shift going on right now. A conscious revolution is on the precipice. It's in the works. People are waking up and realizing these systems that were put in place just don't work for us anymore, and they just don't work anyway. They serve the people that created them, but they don't serve the people that are living in them. And I think the younger generation is waking up. A lot of people are like, oh, they're lazy. All they do is go on computers. I'm like, no, it's just a different style of gaining knowledge, you know? Just because they don't do it the same way we did it doesn't mean they're not doing it. And we need to give the younger generation a lot more credit. My daughter says things, my wife's daughter, but I call her my daughter too, you know, is extremely intelligent and knows what's going on, and she knew what was going on at a very young age. And I think we need to listen more to the youth. Actually, listen to them, not listen to me. You know, no. How about we listen to them, because I think they could probably teach us a lot as well. And I think it's going to be a conscious shift. You know, it doesn't have to be awful and violent. You know, it can be everybody can just decide I've had enough of this. You know, and it's that universal consciousness. You know, if what you think really matters. You know, so I think it's amazing.
That whole system's definitely falling apart. That's for sure.
Sure. Well, that's a good thing. It should. And you know what that proves?
It's got to.
That proves that the Babylon lie is a lie. You know? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the system was built on oppression and not really an honest system, you know? It's proving itself daily that it just doesn't work. If we have to bomb people and start wars in order to get cheaper gas or anything like that, that's not sustainable. People shouldn't need to die so I can save money. What I'm saying is I think the youth realizes that. They're like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, they see through it, man. It's a joke for them.
Right.
That's why they can't take the old generation serious. People say, why don't they respect us? Well, look, why would they?
There you go.
You know, individuals, of course, as far as the system goes, they're like, well, this doesn't make any sense.
I never really even looked at it that way. You're like, why doesn't the youth respect us? Like, why would they? Look how, you know, look how our leaders and things like that behave. So that's, it's actually a really good point, man. I like that. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm going to use that. Thank you so much, man. So, Jah Works Radio, obviously you have a website. You're all over social media. You're all over every streaming platform. Just give us directions. Where to? I know you have a massive archive on your website. Is that pretty much every episode you've ever done is on your website?
Yeah, it is. And every episode of Jah Works Radio, not our previous show. So they go back.
Sure.
To 2010. We had our Power of the Trinity and ITAL show before that.
Sure.
Every episode, and the beginning of those first episodes were recorded on a cassette tape.
That's great.
Back at the college radio station here where I started it, and it was like cassette tape, and then I had to put it onto CD and then put it onto the computer and upload it, you know.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Like that. It's pretty funny.
I'm actually going to have you come on my radio show, Word, Sound, Power, Conscious Reggae Radio, and spin. I want to have you come on and spin a set, man. That's beautiful, dude. I love the music you throw down. I love your selection. I can only imagine.
Yeah, I would love it. So if you don't mind, maybe can we end out with one more track?
If I don't mind, are you kidding me? You took the words right out of my mouth.
All right. So I wanted to end with this track from Lila Ike.
Beautiful.
New album, you know, called what is it called? Treasure Self Love. Treasure Self Love. To me, this was like the album of 2025. There's so
beautiful.
Many, but
do you have a way that you, when you're finding new music, just real quick before you play this, any secrets or shortcuts for anybody listening if they want to find what's new and what's hot, you know, what's coming out, especially in the world of reggae? Where do you go?
I would say I would send people to, as far as like a one-stop shop, I think reggaeville.com does a really good
Reggaeville, yeah, I get the alerts on my phone from Reggaeville. I'm constantly on their chats and everything.
Yeah, even their website, you know, they do reviews, but they also put out, they'll show like new releases, so you know you got to do your own homework to listen to them or whatever. Sometimes they do reviews, which I think everybody's got their own style and opinion, you know, but I like, of course, they're good. That's good beautiful spot. I would direct people to.
Beautiful. And to drop something real quick before we play that closing track, I actually, because I have a reggae podcast, and you know you're a radio station, but you can kind of put them out as podcasts. There are release radars all over the world for reggae music. You know, and Spotify has one, Apple has one. The release radars. I searched high and low, far and wide, all over, and I did not find a release radar for reggae radio and podcasts. Not dedicated one. There's not one that literally just is a release radar for the podcast. So I made one. It's actually going to be showcased at reggaefestivalguide.com, their newsletter. Okay. And I'm featuring 10 in the newsletter, but we're actually going to have on their website every reggae podcast and radio show by week that's released that week, kind of like a release radar. So on their website, it's going to have all of them. There's a lot of them, so you're going to be looking through a big list. But there's music out there, but also if people want to find the podcast so they can learn about the music a lot more, it's going to be on there as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to this track, man.
Yeah, send that over when you when that's up and running, or if it is
Certainly.
already, send it over.
Certainly will, man.
Spread it around too, and I'll send the family over to your your YouTube channel and your website and everything. I'll
That's beautiful.
definitely put this onto Jah Works Radio and put the word out. We can help each other in that way.
It's amazing.
So yeah, this last track for the night, we're gonna play from Lila Ike, from her album called Treasure Self Love. This is a song called Love in a Lovely Way, and
I love it.
yeah, so sweet. And obviously Lila Ike, a reggae artist. The track itself, some people may hear it and say, "Oh, where's the reggae?" But it's there because the heartbeat is there and the roots is there. And then if you listen keenly at the end of the song, you hear echoes of Garnet Silk.
Oh, nice.
Place in Your Heart, which is one of the most beautiful reggae songs ever. She sings it as like a duet. They sample, and it's like kind of an echo. So you can hear the Archangel, Garnet Silk, his angelic voice at the end, singing along with, to me, it's like at the end of the song, when she switches to singing,
Right.
Garnet is the lead vocalist, and Leela is kind of like the backing vocalist, and you could hear his spirit coming through on that track.
That's beautiful.
Never Dies.
And I love how you explain music like that, man. That's great. That's so important.
Oh, and check this out. I hadn't noticed this, Scotty, but look at how long.
Is it 4?
3 minutes, 44 seconds.
Get the hell out of here. That's funny, man.
I love how God works,
No kidding, man. That's amazing.
So yeah, we'll drop it. And much love to the family, Appreciate love you, Scotty, and your wife and your whole family. It's been a lot of fun to link up, man. And let me know about the live radio show. We'll make something work on one of these nights or whatever.
That's great.
Yep. Send love
Absolutely.
to the fam. And,
absolutely. Let me do my closing, and then do you mind if we close with this track?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's awesome, man. All right, there is strength in unity. Build your community. So follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and shoot me an email, info@hippie-fari.com, and check out the website, hippie-fari.com. And this is Scotty, the high-strung hippie, and Kira, the Irie Empress, reminding you to speak your mind before somebody else does it for you. And remember, folks, do something nice for somebody today. Grab flowers for your partner, smoke out a stranger, slip the homeless man a buck. But whatever you do, do it from the heart, because all good things start with the heart. Peace, love, and Rasta rhythms are all a part of the reggae revolution. One love, fam, and Jah Rastafari.
Ooh, yeah. Is what we talking about. Yes, our love. I feel for love in a lovely way. Love will not change and it stay the same. Love is so pure it a shine a light. Love is so sure it a save my life. And love can heal the pain, but we deal with and face on a daily basis. I love I go save the day. Love I feel lead the way. Love, yes, that's what we talking about. Love, yes, I wanna hear you shout it out. Love, yes, that's what we talking about. Love, yes, well love look like you give me, I me give you love too. Now what do are we? The kind of love we pursue, you see truthfully. It must step on the inside, for you share it outside, then it's spread around while I feel heal. You see, it gets better with time. You believe in me, and that I make my light shine more easily. So now I'm gonna keep trying. I know I'll be fine. Together we'll find the way to love in a lovely way. Love when I change and it stay the same. Love is so pure it a shine a light. Love is so sure it has saved my life, yes. And love can heal that pain, but we deal with our face on a daily basis. I love I go save the day. Love I feel lead the way. Love, yes, that's what we talking about. Love, yes, I wanna hear you shout it out. Love, That's what we talking about. Love is. And newfound love is like a brand new toy. It fills you up, you wanna burst with joy. When you're in love, it's a wonderful thing. Your mind's at rest, you wanna try your best. Prepare a place in your heart, that's where it all starts. A place in your heart, make love your resort. Prepare a place in your heart, that's where it all starts. Oh gosh, a place in your heart, yeah. Together, love in a lovely way, yeah. Love in a lovely way. I need that love in a lovely way, yeah. Love in a lovely way.
That's absolutely beautiful, man. And, you know, you had mentioned earlier, yeah, people say, where's the reggae? Well, I often mention to people, if you took a Christian song and put evil lyrics over it, is it still a Christian song? Well, the answer is no. So if you take, basically, to me, it's a message. Reggae music's about a message. It's the music, but it's that message that is so important, and that's what makes the music so beautiful. That was amazing, man. Absolutely beautiful track. Thank you.
Give thanks, Scotty. Thank you again, and want to big up mi familia, big up my beautiful wife, Madeline, big up my daughters, Camila and Natalia, C Rainbow and Nati Celeste, big up the whole Jah Works Radio family, and big up, you know, the I and I's all across the world, recognizing the I within the I and I. Give thanks. Brad.
Yes, big up I and my beautiful wife, Kira, who is behind the scenes, who does everything. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this. So, and big up Jah Works Radio. You're an absolutely beautiful person. This was one of the dopest podcasts I have ever done, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I could literally sit here for another 3 hours and keep doing this stuff. So it's a beautiful thing, man.
I could too. I'd suffer in the morning. But
Me too. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And like I said, you know, it's the peace, love, and the Rasta rhythms are all a part of that reggae revolution. Much love, brother. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, brother. Peace.
Peace.